Hello, ladies and gents. Okay, so this week's topic is called I Saw, I See, and I'm Wrong. It's a lot of C's and saws, but it will make sense when this video is done. So this week's topic is primarily going to be about how you see others and then how that can affect your value and your self-esteem. So if you take a step back and actually realize the people that are in our lives and the people that we allow to come into our lives plays a very big factor in how we view ourselves as an individual. So for example, relationships. So with relationships, a lot of the times we expect for a person to be a certain way, and then it's the complete opposite and it just doesn't work out. So that's why it's called I see, I saw, I'm wrong. So you see that this person is acting a certain way or their characteristics are X, Y, and Z. You see how they act, and you're wrong. You're wrong about who they are as a person. One thing that I feel like humans have a really hard time accepting is that we can't change people. I myself and a lot of people that I know and a lot of stories I've heard, we constantly try to change people. We try to change their characteristics and we try to pull out the ones that we want, and we try to disregard and kind of throw away the ones that we don't like. But a person is who they are, and that is about yourself as well. You are who you are at the end of the day. When you try to change someone and how they are as a person, you know, they can change. Sometimes in situations, a person can change, but they're going to change very little. Especially when you hit adulthood. Yes, people can change, but people's characteristics and who they are, it's not going to change very much. And if someone's personality is going to change, it's not going to be your decision and your action to change them. No one can change with a snap of a finger. And relationships and friendships, they're not complicated. Humans are. Humans complicate things so much because we're just programmed to want to try and change things and want to try and make things different because that's how we perceive it. That's how we want it to be. You're suddenly giving yourself the power that you can change someone when that is not the case at all. And then you're just putting your value aside and what you have to offer aside. You're putting that second, and you're putting the changing someone first. And you don't have that power. That power was never yours to begin with. If someone isn't on the same level as you mentally and what you have to offer, you're not going to be able to do tricks and magic to change that. You know, it's who they are and it's how they are. And if they are going to change over time, then that's going to be up to them. You have to realize that the only thing that you have control over is how you treat people, what your actions are. Once you start putting your value first and what you have to offer and what actions you can take to be a better person in a relationship, then you stop acting like Miss or Mr. Fix-It, because we are not Bob the Builder. And if you don't know who that is, it was a kids show way back when kids shows were so much better. But I'm sure if you Google it, it's still online. And he was a builder. They called him Bob the Builder. So we are not construction workers, okay? We cannot fix things. Do not be Bob. When you constantly push and try to change someone to, you know, act a certain way and just be a totally different person in a relationship, and if it fails, then you start thinking to yourself, well, why am I not good enough to change this person? Once it becomes like an incomplete in our heads, like we weren't able to change this person and how they act, then it affects your value. It affects your self-esteem, because you then say, why was I not able to change this person? And you start to think, why are my words and my actions not good enough? And it has absolutely nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with the other person. That is who they are, and if they decide to change, like I said earlier, they're going to change on their own. So it has nothing to do with you. You could be plenty good enough for someone, but if their characteristics do not match your characteristics, that is just something that cannot change. And when you constantly try to change someone, it gets exhausting. When you try to persuade them to see what you see or the potential that you see for your relationship, it will exhaust you. And you should always remember that it should never be that hard. So, if there's a solution, great. Once you start to value yourself, what you have to offer, your qualities, your ability to do things in relationships, or just in life in general, you are going to see the world through such a different outlook. But, what I always say, it goes back to training your mind. It goes back to training your mind that you cannot change this person. You can change yourself and how you act, but you cannot change this person. You cannot force or try to persuade this person to act a certain way. And it's absolutely okay for you to be wrong about who someone was as a person. You thought this is how it was going to be, ended up not being that way. So what does that make it? An experience. Like I said in one of my other videos, experience is what you get when you didn't get what you wanted. And that's exactly what it becomes. Embrace it, learn from it, and learn from that situation. And there's so many different examples of this. It could be someone is more emotional than you are, someone's more adventurous than you are. It can be someone that doesn't communicate as much as you do. So you can only try and explain what is on your mind for so long. So if there's a solution, great. But if there isn't, you have to stop and think, is this affecting my self-esteem? Is this affecting my value in trying to change someone? Like I said earlier, you can only do so much. So if you take anything from this video, do not be like Bob. You are not Bob the Builder. You cannot build and take away characteristics as you please. People in your life are going to show you many different pieces that they have. If you cannot love all of their pieces, then, that's not fair to them. Especially when it comes to relationships. You have to love all of their pieces because you would want someone to love all of your pieces, right? So that is it for I saw, I see, and I'm wrong. And it is okay, like I said, for you to be wrong about certain people. That's what makes it an experience. You learn about different characteristics that people have. You learn about yourself, and more importantly, you learn about what you want. To view the blog on I saw, I see, and I'm wrong, go to www.pieceofinsight.com. Also, again, as a reminder, if you guys have any stories that made you a better version of yourself, whether it was a relationship that just really broke you in a million tiny pieces, or if it's just a different situation, such as, self-esteem issues, or it's a problem that you've just had for a really long time and you're just finally getting better. Any type of story, or if you have any questions, or if you're questioning if you want to submit your story, you can go ahead and email me. That's also through my website. So submit your stories if you'd like, and if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. And as always, like I say, stay empowered.